to take some deep belly breaths into the body. Just let it go, let it relax. Feel the muscles of the body relaxing open. Feel the mind kind of draining of all the chatter that might be going on. And today we take plenty of time to work on our roots, especially working on our feet. There's been various hikes I've been on this year, and in some of the hikes, I've used hiking boots, where it's just a heavy boot. Your foot cannot move around at all, and it's beautiful. It carries you nice and safe through your hike. But just in talking about that foot connection to the ground, it's almost like it's more sterile. It's like your foot doesn't have to touch earth at all. And I'm contrasting this with a different hike I went on where in this hike you had to wear shoes that could get wet because you kept on crossing over streams over and over and over again on this hike. And so in that hike, it was such a different experience in the feet stepping into mud, the feet stepping into water, and onto dry land, and just feeling viscerally in your feet that difference between every single type of earth there can be. Those beautiful smooth stones, the nice rough bumpy parts, just getting to feel your foot kind of connect and adjust with the earth. Such a different experience. And so with our intention focusing on the feet today, imagine that the more we can connect our foot to the earth, the more we can feel grounded and rooted. And sometimes there's times where plants are picked up and transplanted to a new location. So sometimes those are moments of shock when it's like, I don't know if I like this new earth. It's kind of crazy. So sometimes there's moments like that when maybe people move or maybe just huge life changes happen. And so this class is especially for those moments to help us learn to tap into our feet so we can really ground down no matter what craziness is going on in our life right now. So with grounding, rooting, and filling our feet to help lead us on, let's start off with our first thing. We're going to plant the feet close to the glutes. So we're going to take a couple of bridge poses, and usually with bridge pose, we're focusing mostly on how the spine feels. We still want to roll up just like normal, but today the biggest focus for this bridge pose is feeling your feet pushed down into the ground. So start off push down into the earth and feel how that's what initiates the lift of the hips and then the spine. And then when you're ready, softly roll down and feel how it's like the feet get softer and softer and softer onto the earth until there's like no weight hardly. And take that a couple of times. So push into the earth, create the lift. Inhale. A nice exhale, rolling all the way down. Keep on repeating a few more rounds. Really feel feet making contact with the earth. Feel how it's most effective when there's an even push of everything down. It's not just the heels, not just the toes or the balls of the feet. It's everything equally. So let's take two more like that, slowly rolling up by pressing down. This last time that we go up, stay with the hips lifted for a little bit longer. With the hips lifted, let's roll through our feet. So our heels start to slowly lift until the heels are as high as possible. And then heels slowly lower down. Just going to do 4 of those lifts. Lifting up and down, and 3 more. Up and down, and obviously no slamming. 2, it's a slow rise and lowering each time. Good, last one for the lift. Lower, hips return back to earth. Then let this left leg slide long to the ground. When that one's resting, we're going to grab onto this right ankle area. So the knees swiveling up to the side, the foot's coming in. And what I want us to do for a brief moment is just give this right foot a little brief squeeze, almost like a massage through all the surface area. So make sure you've had each of the toes had some pressure, and then squeezing through ball of foot, release, squeezing down arch of foot and release, working our way down to heel, squeezing and release. So whole foot has had a chance to have squeeze and release. When we finished that, continue this into the cradle position. So maybe grab onto ankle, maybe one hand for foot and knee, maybe hugging in a bit deeper. You choose, and you can also choose if you're rocking or just holding it in tight. Good. So heading to half happy baby, right hand grabs right foot, the knee swivels wide, the foot stacks over knee. Maybe 2 little squeezes of the hand to the foot, just establishing that good connection. And then this can be stillness or any type of movement. It might get just a tiny little bit of rocking still, or maybe you're ready for more crazy stretches up to the sky, releases back down. So whatever feels good, give it that type of quality of movement or stillness. Good. So then as the hand releases from the foot, allow yourself to take that right knee all the way across the body to a nice twist. The big thing to focus on for this twist, now that the foot and the hips are away from the ground, is that this right shoulder and even right arm are super connected to the earth, very grounded. No chance of that right shoulder lifting off the ground. Just continue to let the spine relax up and over to that really nice opening. More good breath, let it flow in. Relax out. And as the hip returns to the ground, the right foot's on the earth, let it slide away in contact with the ground. Just enjoy a breath, being here established in the earth. Good inhale. And exhale. Good. So then, left ankle comes in. You have access to bottom of foot. Give it the squeezes all the way across the toes. Ball of foot. Working down arch of foot. Eventually to heel. Then continue the cradle as all the surface areas have attention. Set up that deep hug if you want to rock. That can be nice. Happy baby pose when you're ready. Remember, this can be super simple or even no movements. Or you could have extreme. Stretching the leg all the way up and then relaxing it back down. Give a moment or two just to squeeze through that foot. Beautiful. Remember, when we're about to head into the twist, Keep the left shoulder and left arm very open on the earth. So pressing down as a kind of like that's the root now. And the rest of the body is what's kind of spiraling off of the earth. Another deep breath, blows all the way in, out. As the toes stay pointed, allow arms to stretch up overhead. So feel that good stretch through your belly, your chest, your arms. Take another good inhale. With the exhale, roll your way up to stretch over the legs. Let's continue to relax the spine up and over. There's tightness in the neck. This is a good chance just to ease some of that out. Sometimes it's even nice to try to pull the balls of the foot closer toward us. What that does is include a calf stretch quite a bit deeper. So now it's the whole bottom side of the leg in that stretch. Then rising up, allow the feet to plant, hands are behind us. Similar to the bridge pose, we'll feel our feet pushing down into the earth to lift the hips up and relax back down. It's like imagine if you took the feet away, there would be nothing to press against. We need that pressure to help allow joints to push and move against anything. One more time, lift and lower. And from here, hands can stay supporting or they can start floating, up to you. We're gonna do some bicycles with the foot moving with us. So when you push out, then point. And then when it comes back in, it's when it starts to flex. So it's not just the knees and hips moving, it's the toes trying to go all the way through flexion and flex. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab onto your ankles if you can. Place bottoms of feet solidly together. That's what relaxes down to the earth and spine tilts forward, cobbler. More of the roots and more of those back muscles are continuing to stretch. Another good inhale, float in. Nice exhale. So then when we ease our spine up, what I want us to do is place our heels out to each side. The knees are bent at first. What we're going to do, again, just like we've been playing with, is create flexion through this point. Arms reach up to sky. And then when the arms drop down by the sides, straighten the legs and point the toes. So it's a tilt forward slightly. Inhale, pull it back in, flexion. Exhale, extension and point. Let's take another round of 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And this time as we tilt forward, you can either stay leaving the fingertips behind you, or you can take them out in front of you. And a good breath gets to flow in. Nice release out. So then when the knees come back in, legs can be together. Just do a couple of complete circles with all the toes. You've done it to one direction, circle to the other. We'll take maybe 2 more rounds of each. When you finish the last one, come to a kneeling place. Do a couple of cat-cows. Kind of like how we've been flexing and pointing the toes. Imagine that's kind of like what we're doing with our spine. Imagine that spine is an extension of your root system. Try to create more space. Two more rounds. To the last one, our right foot steps forward, but it's not far. It's like the heel is almost in line with where the other knee is. So from here, we're going to ease into some stretches for the foot. So first, we walk forward, the knee drops down, and we even kind of slide it forward until the bottom of the foot is stretching. And then we slowly rock back, sit on the back leg, and then point toes. Going all the way to that flexion forward. And pointing back. Good. Let's take 2 more rounds. The next time you go forward, stay in that stretch. Again, if you don't really feel it, just slide the knees forward a little bit and that'll pretty much like an easier version of that toe stretch. It's only one, you can choose how much to back out of it. Inhale. Exhale. As we release, slide that knee underneath us. Give the foot a couple of easy circles. And then left is welcome to come up to that spot, not super far forward. And we tilt forward, foot stretch. All the way back to a point. Two. One. Good. And then a couple of bonus breaths just with that toe flexion. Toe flexion stretch. More breath flow through the body. And when the knee is underneath, maybe the foot needs to do some circles, maybe both sides. Beautiful. So similar to that, let all the toes tuck. From here, as you press into your hands, the knees lift. The idea here is to rock back until you feel your Achilles tendon stretching gently. So give yourself a breath there. And we tilt forward. So the legs straighten all the way up to downward facing dog. So that's working your hamstrings. Let's move through two more softly like that. Drop the knees gently down. Go back to Achilles tendon stretch. Bird facing dog. One more. Rocking weight back in that toe squat. You're ready, that last downward facing dog, take it up. Have wiggles through the legs or stillness, just notice what feels best through the feet. And also the legs are also connected to those roots. This is one of those down dogs that you can stay as long as it's useful. At some point, make your way to the top of that when you're ready. So enjoy another breath in and out with the forward fold. Now to rise. So from here, try to get the 4 small toes pushing into the ground. Try to lift the big toe up. Good. Then press the big toe down. The best that you can. This is kind of hard because of the way the tendon is, but try to get the pinky toe to lift up as much as you can. All the others try to push down. Good. And then big toe and pinky toe push down. The other 3 try to lift up. a brain teaser more than anything else. It's like, okay, which toes? Good. 3, 2, 1. And then push all the toes solidly into the earth and feel how the heels can just kind of start to lift. Try to balance there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rock the heels softly down. Weight of the hips sinks back like we're into a chair. And the toes lift. So from the toes lifting, swing the arms up by the ears. So imagine you're grabbing something and pulling it to the side. I'll extend up. Take another 3, 2, 1. Reach back up. Press the toes down. All the foot solidly connected. And take the right wrist to the outside of left thigh. Spiraling forward. Reach back up by ears. And second side. Good. Reach back up. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the legs, dive down. Just pause for a breath. And right foot slides to back of mat. Drop the right knee down. So from here, sinking hips forward. See if you can walk your hands up to thigh or even reach up to sky. And notice the little wobbles the front foot takes trying to stay in balance. So see if that front foot can just press. The whole foot solid to the earth. Inhale. Exhale as hands go down. Straighten the front leg. And then test it out. There's 2 different ways to stretch in the half splits. You can either pull ball of the foot toward you, that gets calf, or point the toes really far, that stretches the front of the foot, the ankle area. So choose which spot needs the stretch most, and then just enjoy that type of a half split. Also notice, take note mentally which foot is forward, just because there's some of us are on an opposite, so that way we can make sure to get the second side later, so just note. Another breath here. Good. So this leg comes underneath us and we take it up to plank position. Spider-Man, right knee comes up to touch right elbow and left knee, left elbow. The other 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And from here, either continue in the flow, that chaturanga, down dog, up dog, down dog, or take down pose. Maybe about the third time. Beautiful. So wherever we're at, we're stepping our second foot forward. So most of us will be right foot. So take your weight forward. See if you can balance hands to thigh, hips still going forward, maybe reaching to sky. Again, just feel the wobble of the foot. And notice any ways that we can get the foot more solid down. One of the big things is pushing the big toe a little bit harder down. Not enough to rock the foot, but it's enough to just create that good balance. So another inhale. Exhale, hands come down. You choose as that leg straightens. Is it the flexion for calf stretch, or is it the pointy to get to the foot and fall? A good breath, let it flow in, out. As the leg comes back, we'll do those Spider-Man things again. Come to plank. Ready, 5 cycles, each knee, right and left. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, maybe continue the flow or take child pose or straight to down dog. Perhaps this is a moment of connection and stillness, or maybe it's a moment of moving all through the feet. Maybe what's more useful. Stay a bit longer or make your way up to top of mat when you're ready. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. Hands come down to heart. Place the big toes close, heels slightly separated. From that position, sink the hips back. Seat into a chair. Feel the entirety of the foot pushing down as we start to hip twist. So right wrist or right elbow hooks. Spiral the spine open. And gaze at the floor, about a foot in front of where you're standing. Find something solid and unmoving to look at. And then from that balance point, shift your weight into left foot. So right foot 3 times can slide back. And forward. 2. 1. And a bonus to stay back. Take the twist, just another breath. Maybe spiral the spine here more. And when we unwind, unwind to warrior 2. On your back foot, feel yourself rotating some of the weight onto that outer arch. Then on your front leg, see as you take a little bit more bend to the knee, see if you can feel the whole foot pushing down into the ground a little bit more. Good. So 3 times slowly, we'll go back and forth between this warrior 2 and triangle. So front leg straightens, reach forward to drop hand to shin. Pause for a moment before we take the second round. And back up to warrior 2. And triangle. Once more. Triangle. Rising up. Turn the toes open to goddess pose shape, so 45-degree angles. We're already squatting down. Arms are open. Feel your toes push down so firmly into the ground that the heels can start to float. So from heels floating, we're pausing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Soften heels back down, straighten legs, and the toes directly forward. And as we dive down to the forward fold, get your first 2 fingers to hug around your big toe. So instead of pulling the big toe up off the ground, the big toe's pushing into the earth. That gives us something to anchor off of as the elbows bend to each side, inviting the spine. Breath gets to flow in and out. Soften the knees as we roll up. Heel toe the feet in once or twice, setting up for pyramid. So it's that perfect distance, pivot the toes all the way to the top of that. Hips are squared forward and sliding down. Notice how pyramid has a tendency to be another one of those wobbly poses. So see what it takes in your feet to keep balance. So maybe it's a little bit of that big toe pressure down, not enough to create an imbalance, enough to just have the foot solid on the earth. Or notice if there's something else you naturally do with your foot to have balance. Good. Soften the knees to roll up. We're shifting our weight onto that front foot. This right knee floats. Sometimes just floating with a bent knee is about what we can do. Sometimes we can clasp around the thigh and straighten the leg forward. Some of us might take a hug around the big toe to stretch. No matter what we're doing, feel your standing foot pushing down. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Big toes are back to that close position. Heels slightly separated. Sitting back in the chair. Look the left wrist. We're either spiraling the other arm open or going down the elbow. Start to gaze at the floor. Find that spot that helps you not move. That steadiness. And then shift your weight to right foot. When you feel that freedom, left foot slides back, 3, and forward, 2, 1. The bonus to stay back. Spiral the spine even more if there's space. When we unwind, take it toward your 2. Rock some weight to the outer arch of back foot. Front knee bends a little bit more. Feel the foot push down. Good. 3 times to triangle. Nope. 2. Last one, we stay a few bonus breaths. Warrior 2. Toes open to goddess. We're already squatting down. Feel the feet push into the ground so much that the heels can float. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax heels back down. Straighten legs. Turn toes forward. As we dive down, again, try to hug around big toes. Elbows bend out to the sides. Inviting spine lower. Another good inhale. Exhale, soften the knees, roll up. Heel toe in once or twice and then shift forward, pyramid. Slide down. Notice what your feet have to do to balance. To roll up. Shift your weight onto the front foot, maybe floating the other knee. Maybe clasp to extend. Or maybe grab big toe. And reach. Inhale. Exhale, push down. Release. Good. Feet are solid on the earth. That connection down. From there, inhale, circle arms up to sky. Exhale, a nice forward fold. A bonus breath in, out. Hands are planting, slide the feet back, cross pose, down dog, up. Other breath goes in, out. And then right foot comes under and through to pigeon pose shape. Before we drop completely down, we're giving that a massage to that right foot. You've got options here. It could be rocking the base of your left palm onto the foot. You could try using your elbow. For elbow, I personally like it best rolling through the arch of the foot. That could be nice. You can stay here in the massage as long as you wish. Just taking it to pigeon pose when you're ready, this pigeon. And even if you're in sleeping pigeon, still continue the massage. Whatever feels good on that foot. More space, especially after the work that it's done for us. More breaths here. Really rise up. We go to down dog or kneeling. Either way, let the hips have some movement. Just sing out of the deep stretch. Eventually, left leg can come through when you're ready. Don't forget to massage before the release. Palm of hand, maybe some elbow. If you wish, you can release or just keep massaging the whole time. More breaths. For all three, for the down dog or kneeling. Hip movements, keeping the tightness out. Eventually we'll point all the toes and try to come back and sit on that part of the foot. The idea here is to lift right knee up. Some of us it might require us to rock really significantly over to the left in order to safely rock the right knee up. But either way, however much weight we can handle, we're trying to lift that right knee, give that arc, kind of the front side of the foot, a couple of breaths. So let's do one more breath for right. Whatever we need to do to switch to left. And as we release, come forward. This can be circles or pounding out the foot. Now let's come down to sit. We're going to stack our right foot on top. If you have a sock like me, take it off at least for a moment. We can put it back on and very briefly. The idea is exposing this foot so we can use it. So that could be on the ground if it's really tight, or try to get it up on that leg. But from here, we're going to thread into that right foot the left fingers. So fingers coming in between the toes. We've got them threaded in place. The fingers muscularly try to spread it outward, stretching out the toes. Try to keep the fingers doing that action as the toes try to squeeze inward. As you release the muscular activation, use this grip to help the foot come into any stretches that feel good. So you've got so many options. You can flex clear back, point, you could do circles or kind of like waving the foot, kind of bringing it out. Just feel whatever the foot needs for a couple more breaths. You're ready to release your fingers. This can be from shin stack or cross leg, or we're going to slide our hands forward. Good. So rising back up, if you wanted to put the sock on, that's fine. And look, towards our left foot. Thread the fingers in. But notice one side is usually very different than the other in the feet. So maybe this is the tighter side or not. And when you've got it in, the fingers start to spread open. Good. Now the toes start to squeeze in. Move to any of those movements that feel useful for this side. Circles, could be ringing, twisting motions, could be flexion. Going a bit longer if you feel like that's useful. Eventually we can release and slide forward and through. Now, as we start to ease up, we can begin to transition towards Shavasana. So if there's last seated stretches you want or last laying stretches, this is a good time to take any of those last things. Don't have to rush at all. Take all the time you need. Just be present, exploring. Keep on moving if that's where you're at, or if you're starting to relax. Perhaps a useful image for our Shavasana today is imagining really, really grounding downward. So underneath us in this space, we have wood. Wood is good for connecting with earth, or perhaps you're visualizing another type of earth. Maybe visualizing laying on a beach, or visualizing being on top of a mountain, very solid rock. Or maybe laying on farmland, really rich soil, about to sprout forth life. So whatever type it is, allow yourself just being hugged, embraced by the earth for the next few minutes. It's like no matter where our roots find themselves, if we get moved and we're in a type of shock, or just crazy things happen in life, the storms of life that come upon us, feel earth hugging your roots, inviting you in, reminding you you're always home. Okay, let's begin to deepen our inhales. Our exhales. Going to introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out in ways that feel really good, really useful. Essentially taking a nice fetal position to one side if you wish. Doing a few bonus breaths. Coming up to a seated position when you feel ready, sooner or later. So here with hands at our heart, we feel ourselves not only grounding down to the space that's making contact with the earth, but we also feel ourselves coming into this heart space, knowing that no matter where life takes us, we'll always find that sense of home, that sense of earth hugging us. Down from the roots, we'll always have that sense of home, hugging one another, kind of like a root from the heart. So with this type of root connection to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of home. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.